So ADA currently finds itself within this corrective move, and this is following on from my previous video where I was looking for ADA to tap into this region between 57.29 cents to 57.82 cents. And as you can see, we ended up tapping into that region, but then shortly after we then saw this breakout, followed by another push to the downside. And so rather than the WXY structure that I was initially tracking, it looks like a WXYXZ structure formed instead. And we ended up reaching this level at 56.29. And yeah, since this move, we then saw this pump to the upside. And so it will be interesting to see what structure is actually forming right now within this Y wave, where I'm looking for this Y wave to tap into this region here. And so it's still possible that within this Y wave, we have a WXY structure that's forming. But whether or not we see that continuation to the upside where we do tap into this region, or we see a push to the downside before we see that extra push to the upside where we tap into this region, only time will tell, really. And so essentially what could be taking place right now is either a WXY structure where we ended up bottoming out to complete this X wave at 56.29 cents, and we are currently within this Y wave, or we could still be within this X wave. And within this X wave, what we could have forming is this WXY structure, and then we get to see that final pump to the upside where we do tap into this region here. And so if it's a case of us actually being within this WXY structure, then next key target would be the 1 to 1.226 of the W wave. And so that target sits between 64.19 cents to 66.21 cents. And so as you can see, we could just about extend beyond the initial target. And if it's a case of us still being within this X wave and there is still a possibility for us to go slightly lower, then the next key target would be the 1 to 1.226 retracement of this W wave here, where within this X wave we have a WXY structure. So assuming that we ended up topping off at 59.47 cents, then we could potentially see ADA reach anywhere between 53.64 cents to 54.71 cents. And so what I'll do is check to see what's actually taking place within this recent move here. And if I just move this to over here. So right now it does look like, again, that we are within this corrective move made up of a WXY structure. So what I do is check to see if this Y wave met the typical requirements. So if I just draw that out for you just so it's more clearer. So we've got this WXY structure that played out. And if I bring in the fib tool, so that Y wave would reach anywhere between 59.14 cents to 59.64 cents. And as you can see, we ended up doing so. And so it's possible that we ended up completing this structure. And within this Y wave, what I'll do is check to see what actually took place. So I'll drop down to the 5-minute chart. And yeah, so it's possible that we had a 5-wave move within this Y wave, where this is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And within this third wave, what we had forming was another 5-wave move, where this could have been the wave 1, assuming that we ended up reaching past that level. Yeah, so that would have been a wave 1. And then we had a wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. And here you can see that we never crossed the wave 1 or the wave 2 origin, which is this one here. As you can see, so yeah, it looks like we had a 5-wave move that played out within this Y wave. And so it's possible that this move is now complete within this X wave, and we see a push to the downside. And so what we need essentially is for, in order for us to be bullish, we need ADA to breach past the 88.2% retracement level of this W wave. So if we extend beyond this level at 60.59 cents, then it's possible that we are bullish and we continue to see high highs where we then tap into this region. However, if we get rejected, given that the X wave will typically retrace anywhere between 50% to 88.2%, and as you can see, we ended up extending beyond this level at 58.69 cents, where we ended up reaching this level at 59.47 cents. And so if we get rejected at this level and see that push to the downside, then it's possible that we have this WX Y structure that's in play right now, and we see that move towards this region here. And one could actually argue that what's forming right now is a bear flag. So if I just remove this and draw in the trend line, so if I draw the upper trend line up to here and the lower trend line, so one could argue that this is the flag, and then we have the flagpole. And so we could see that move to the downside, where we could then even tap into this region here. And so, yeah, it's possible that we have this WXY structure that's playing out, and then we tap into this region at some point. But of course, again, we need further confirmation for that to be the case. The bullish signal would be for us to reach past the 88.2% retracement level of this W wave, and we could then see a high wave break this local top, and we'll then tap into this region here. And if I quickly go on the 4-hour chart, what you can see is we are within the overbought conditions. And so I am looking at for the bears to regain control of the market. And that could then play out with this move where we then tap into this region. And here you can also see that we don't necessarily have to breach past this local low at 53.66 cents. We can still tap into this region and see that extra push to the upside and still remain bullish. And so, yeah, that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.